Come back to the mix, lovelies and friends. And on the mix, we have Lady V. Now, Lady V is talking about charity. She's saying that not all charities are charities. She's saying that a charity has to be registered as a charity and it should have different people that's on maybe the board that's able to sign for um something. I think it's the money. She's also saying that a charity, you do not have many different people that's picking up the money. Basically, for charity money, it will come to the charity itself. So if it's my charity, it will stay my charity and it will come to that person, that individual, basically. And she's saying that for a charity, you wouldn't have to get, many different people to send. Well, not many different people. You wouldn't have to collect many different people to collect the money, because everyone would have known that the money is coming to the charity because the sender would have already stated to her bank or wherever she's sending it from, her source of income and what she's sending it for or he's sending it for, and it would be to charity, which means that it would be registered as such then, basically, and that it wouldn't be a problem for the person, which is the charity person, collecting it, because there wouldn't be any problem to collect over a certain amount of money because it's for charity. And charity, once you're sending money for charity, it's kind of different than sending it to someone personally, because when you're sending it for charity, it's all registered as charity already. So there's no problem with the government or any of those groups. So she's saying that these people, they're playing on our emotions, they to get that money. And most of these are the ways that they do to get people's money. They play on your emotions, tell you this is how they'll tell you that, okay, this person is having this. They'll show you the elderly, they'll show you the children, they'll show you the homeless people, and you'll think, okay, this person, don't have it or whatever. And then it will play on your emotion and you will want to give. So she's saying that's how charity is done. But she's saying that you should be mindful of what a charity is. And when a charity is registered, how it runs differently than from, somebody like 50 different persons collecting money for one charity. When in truth and in fact, if the money was coming in a correct way and coming to charity itself, then it wouldn't have to be that way, even though other people would be able to sign for the check or to sign for the money. But it would have been a different way because it would have come in the charity name. So there would be no problem for the persons, that's running the organization. So be mindful and go ahead and catch the video and listen to what she says. Listen and understand, what Lady V has to say about this. And also remember that Lady V has her online store, their physical store, that you could go and purchase stuff from her if you would like to. I do not have her information, but you know where she is. And guys, have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day.
We have to stop this nonsensical things of calling some little things. Yes, but when the power go, you have to go down, they go switch it, and down the full of one something then call wood slave or Jamaicans call croaking lizard. I don't venture down there. If the power go, Mr. Sir have to come and change it. Yes, I have a generator, darling. Yeah. So this is it. Everything we see out here that is collecting money is not charity. Be careful. And this whole thing what y'all talking about non-registered charity, I don't sanction that argument. I don't sanction that argument about non-registered charity. If something is a charity, it should be registered. Hands down, point blank and period. If you have a charity which you can't have. But if you want to organize a charity, you give it a name, whether you want to call it John C. Hopper Foundation or you want to call it Bells and Whistle Cotton and Picks, you call it what you want to call it, that's fine. You have to go and register that. You have to do your due diligence, all right? And all the directors and the members of the board and everything has to be listed with them. Sometimes some of these persons may have to give certificate of character, right? And when that is formed, you have to go to the Friendly Society to get what you need to get. It's not a walk in the park to have any charity registered and come on books and be accepted. Right? So when that happens, you have to go to the bank with that thing that you get from intellectual property that would read duly registered on this from intellectual property office, right? That this thing was registered, and then there will be a thing where you call statement of particulars, right? If you don't know what these things are, go check. Stop talking nonsense when you don't know anything about what you're talking. Someone will not talk on mouth in trouble. Use the correct terminology for whatever you do. All right? So at the end of the day now, when that happens, and the statement of particular will tell all the intricate things. Where is the supposed office for this thing? Who and who is what and who is director and when it was and and everything. And then whenever time an overseas body or entity or persons want to bless this organization, everything that they send goes straight to the organization and it goes tax-free. So if a person in America did see a burnt out situation down, you have some family burnt out, and decide, I want to pack 2-3 barrels and send down there because I see a family burnt out. This is not you sending the barrels to Julia or to Latoya or to Avis. You are sending it to the Cotton Pick Company that is registered as a charitable organization, a non-profit organization. Are you with me? Are you with me? If you're sending something to charity, you don't need a third party. Anything you're sending to a charity, you don't need a third party. I can wire transfer 100,000 to any one of these names that we call as service clubs or charitable organization in their bank account that is associated. What I would have to do is send the source of fund. Send the source of fund from me. So Ivaline Williams is sending 100,000 to, let's use a name, just using a name, not actually sending. Ivaline Williams want to send 100,000 to Food for the Poor. I will have to provide my banking partners with substantial documentation of how I acquire and come to have 100,000 and why I'm donating it to Food for the Poor. Yeah? When you have charity, you don't need no third party. You cannot act as a charity without being officially being a charity. You say, can a person act as a charity without officially being a charity? Surely a person cannot be charity and a person cannot own a charity. Call it a program if you will. That's the best way I can call it. Can't call it anything else. Charity is an organization. It's a body. It has to be run by a board. It has to be duly registered by law with all relevant body. Charities are open to auditing. You have to be registered with Intellectual Property Office, right? You have to do some due diligence and registration with Friendly Society. You also have to open a bank account in the name of the charity with more than one signatory. So there is no one person that can sign a check on behalf of any service club. So Ivaline can sign a check for Cotton and Pick. It are going to need John C. Upper or Bevy Martin or Shirley Minto's signature, because they don't allow one signature. So if somebody wants to send us 3-4 barrels of food, you send it under the name John Pick Cotton or whatever, or Cotton Pick Company, whatever we say it was registered as. And when you go to deal with that, because it's a non-profitable organization, it gets set off. Now, the persons that are donating these items to you, trust and believe, the government give them kickbacks, tax breaks and kickbacks for their donation to charity. That is why you find you have some mega company always donating this to that cause, always financing like a football team for a school for the whole year, the league. Because when you see places like, I don't want to call any names, but when you see like all them telecommunication companies say, oh, and them are the sponsor for the year, for the football, for the little league, or for the under 13, they get a major kickback from the government. Tax break. You may think, boy, this company always a help. They might help themselves too. Because yes, you get the help because they donate 500,000. But the kickbacks and the tax breaks from the government is worth way more than 500,000. Hey, Marlene, it way more than 500,000. So another thing, if it is that you want to donate to some form of charity, you don't need to be sending any money in another name. That is not the charity's name. The charity name is where you're sending the money to. So if the charity names, if the service club or what, the charitable organization name Leo. If it name Rotary, Rotary. If it name Rotaract, Rotaract. If it name Kiwanis, Kiwanis. If it name Lions Club, it name Lions. It cannot be that you're sending something for Lions Club, but you send it to a member of the club when name Pussycat. It cannot be that. It cannot be you're sending something to Kiwanis, but you send it to John Mills. It cannot be that. So these companies tend to donate because they get big, they get huge write-off and tax break. That is why these people, greetings flawless, who are going to put us, right? And you see you, this man, you're over doing, I don't call you and beat you, but I don't bother beat you. I just make you get a free pass because you just say somewhere. You're flawless. You must behave yourself. So at the end of the day, we have to understand these things. Everything that we see out here going on is not charity. I see Chit-Chat, and Chit-Chat is a friend. Chit-Chat is my baby sister, and I see she do some stuff. Chit-Chat don't have no charity. Chit-Chat is doing acts of charity, acts of kindness, but that's not charity. All right, I see some other people doing some little here and there. And what you all need to understand on social media now, because we have a page and we come and we talk, don't mean you need to entrust us with your hard-earned money to say, oh, well, me I gotta donate. A Lady V, me I donate to Lady V. No, do your due diligence before, man. Check pattern, watch history. Because by this token, what is going to happen, every one of us who have a social media page, in short order, gonna become a charity within a charity. And I don't know if you know what I call a charity within a charity. Broke ass people must never do charity. Unemployed people must never be a part of charity. If you don't have a business, meaning you're self-employed or you're actually employed, because being unemployed doesn't mean because you own your business you're unemployed. That's self-employed. So no bother with no foolishness now. If you are not employed, you should not be associated, affiliated with anything charity. If you're retired, because charity is not a one-man band, you can exploit people. It's extortion and exploitation. And a lot of you allow it. Yes, I know we allow it from a place of our hearts. Because we grow up poor or hungry, when we hear the belly pain and the miss a meal groan, once we hear the miss a meal groan, our heartstring, the empathy in us, come up to the front. Boy, I know your hunger feel like, you know. Boy, me I tell them, boy, me a pitney, I wake up at night, I go to my bed, and I know the sound of the worm, them, you know. So when we hear this hunger thing, It pulls us. Why you think when they're showing us the dogs that are suffering that we must donate is always the worst looking dog? Why you think the dog they always mag and just look so? And ribsy. And then me and you say, oh God, I full of water because we're pet lovers. Why you think when them show us the children, them back so Darfur and everywhere back so feed the children program is always the one with the fly right at their mouth, yeah, so the one with the biggest belly and the one with the most ribs and the two biggest knee and the longest hand, torso long so head big so and the neck little so. Why you think are only them that they show we? You think if them that show we a healthy, full, fat, a child that look very nourished? You think we would have been so fast on our feet to put nothing in it? No. No. Why you think everybody exploit the homeless? They don't have a voice. They can't speak for themselves. Why you think it's always the elderly, the indigent, the brought down? You never see them show us anybody who live in a good house. Forget help. It's always people who live in a hovel. Always people that live in a little hovel. They come and bring to us. Always somebody with sores. Always somebody will look like them 2 doorsteps from Madden. Then show you. They are playing on your emotions. Ingrid Mack. See you, girl. You're bad the blood fire. Look here. They're playing on your emotion. They know that when they show you these things, the impecunious nature of things will cause us to come forward with empathy. Lacking man, pull that down. If you miss the last word, I say impecunious, just call it poor and poverty. If you want to look for it in the dictionary and get it for you can use further. But me just take it down. Because I don't like what I'm talking about. You don't know what I say. Alright? So they know what they're doing. And my God, they're using all of us. All of us. They're playing on. And you know what's going to happen? You know we're going to need them same money where we are donating to them places here one day and we're going to suffer. Because God no love ugly, no. God no love when we are do some stuff. Just for do some stuff, you know. You know, a lot of us have our family members living in Grenada, Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Jamaica, Aruba, Antigua, Curacao, Cayman Islands. What we not say nothing gonna give? You know, a lot of us have our blood relatives, our uncle, our grandfather, even our parent, even our piblins and nibblings. Your piblins is like your aunt and uncle. Your nibblings is like your niece and nephew. That we see a struggle, a suffer. How we not help them? But if we only see Lady V come out and say, let's help Nathan. Oh, you're ready for help Nathan. Do you know Nathan's circumstances now? But do you know your nibblings, your nieces and nephews? Your piblins, your uncle and auntie, do you know their situation? Yeah, but hey, you know depend on that. So are you about charity to begin with? Or are you about friendship, association, hype? What are you really
Remember,
about?
lovelies, to subscribe,
You know
like,
when you give for hype, you don't get no blessing.
comment,
You know when the neighbor will live next door
and
to you, you see
share
him over there, you can
this
smell
channel.
how the place reek with urine and know same place one clean out. And you know buy two of the yellow gloves that fit right here, so and some Clorox and some disinfectant and call to other person and say me could go clean him out today and bathe him off and shave him up and give him a good change of clothes and dash them all shit and give him a new thing. And every 2 days one I want to carry meal for me. But you're going and put your name out in a social media sphere. You know so God no bless you for that? You did know? Did you know when you don't call back to the village where you come from? You know the little village where you grew up in, that small little village round there, so back of one part? And you know send back nothing to help the little old people in your village who helped raise you. The same the same old people in your village will help raise you. You don't send back nothing. But you fly up yourself in a public space. You know, so you're not getting a blessing. You know, so that's why sometimes I turn back for you. You know, so God not pleased with them things what we do. Him not pleased.